She only asked for food for her children. Not money, not sympathy, just something warm they could eat before the night grew colder. The diner smelled of fried eggs and burnt coffee, the kind of place where the vinyl booths stuck slightly to your clothes when you stood up. It was late morning, and most of the customers were regulars, people who liked things quiet and predictable. She hadn't planned to come in. Hunger pushed her through the glass door, the bell chiming softly above her head. Her clothes were clean but worn, her hands trembling as she held them together at the counter. She spoke quietly, almost apologetically, explaining that her kids were waiting outside in the car, that she'd lost her job weeks ago, that she would pay it back somehow. Anything, just a little food. The manager didn't even look at her at first. He wiped the counter, jaw tight, already annoyed. When he did turn, his eyes hardened. He told her this wasn't a charity, that people like her were always looking for handouts. A few customers shifted uncomfortably in their seats. Someone stared into their coffee. No one said a word. She tried again, voice cracking now. She said her youngest hadn't eaten since yesterday. That was when the manager snapped. His chair scraped loudly as he stood. He grabbed her arm and told her to leave. She stumbled, knocking into a booth, panic flashing across her face. She cried out, not loudly, just enough to show she was scared. The room froze. The manager didn't stop. He twisted her arm behind her back, his face red with anger, his grip far too tight. An elderly woman at a nearby table covered her mouth. A man across the aisle looked away, ashamed but silent. The bell over the door jingled again. 3 men stepped inside. They were big, broad-shouldered, wearing black leather vests over dark shirts. Their boots hit the floor with slow, heavy certainty. Tattoos wrapped around their arms like old stories written in ink. They didn't rush. They didn't shout. They just watched. The manager was too busy asserting his power to notice at first. He barked at the woman to stop resisting, even though she wasn't. She was crying now, tears streaking down her face, whispering that she just wanted food for her kids. One of the bikers took another step forward. Let her go, he said calmly. The manager turned, scoffing. He told them to mind their own business. This was his diner, his rules. His hand tightened again, and that was his mistake. The biker didn't raise his voice. He didn't need to. You're hurting her. The other 2 stood behind him, silent, unmoving, their presence filling the room. The air felt heavier, charged. Every customer could feel it now. Something had shifted. The manager laughed nervously and pushed the woman away, but not gently. She nearly fell. Before she could hit the floor, one of the bikers caught her, steadying her like she weighed nothing at all. He guided her to a seat, his rough hands surprisingly careful. You okay? He asked. She nodded, still shaking. The first biker stepped closer to the manager, close enough that the man had to tilt his head back to look up at him. The biker's voice was low and even. He told him that men don't put hands on women. Not ever. Not over food. Not over pride. The manager tried to bluff, to threaten to call the police. His words sounded hollow now. Everyone was watching. Even the cook leaned out from the kitchen, eyes wide. One biker walked to the counter and placed money down. Enough for several meals. Make her food, he said. And food for her kids. Now. The manager hesitated, then moved. His hands shook as he worked. When the plates were ready, the bikers carried them to the woman themselves. One wrapped his jacket around her shoulders. Another knelt to her eye level and told her she didn't do anything wrong. That asking to feed your children was never wrong. She cried harder then, but this time from relief. They walked her to the door, shielding her from stares, from shame. Outside, the sun was brighter than she remembered. Before they left, one biker turned back to the room. Next time, he said quietly, don't look away. The door closed behind them, the bell chiming once more. Inside the diner, no one spoke. But everyone knew they had just witnessed something they wouldn't forget. How cruelty looks when it thinks no one will stop it, and how quickly it disappears when someone finally does.